Aquatica remains one of Orlando's most impressive water parks, filled with sun-soaked adventures, from plunging through dolphin-filled waters, soaring up towering walls, to floating through refreshing waterfalls. But with so many parks and experiences calling your name in Orlando, is it worth a place on your next itinerary? Hi, I'm the Frugal Brit, and in this video I'll take you on an updated tour through every attraction Aquatica Orlando has to offer. Without further ado, let's dive in. When entering Aquatica, you're quickly immersed into its South Pacific charm, with its bright tropical architecture, and greeted by colourful figures of the island creatures as you make your way into the park. A wooden bridge crosses over the lazy river, offering a preview of the experiences that lie ahead. On the other side of the bridge, we'll come to the Reef Plunge body slide, which has long been the park's signature slide. After heading up the staircase and across the rope bridge, you'll head up the tower, where you're rewarded with stunning views across Aquatica and beyond. Riders launch from one of two enclosed tubes, blue or teal. The initial descent moves quickly into enclosed darkness broken by glowing marine animal silhouettes projected through translucent sections. The main feature of Reef Plunge is the segment that passes through a clear acrylic tunnel that submerges in a pool shared with Commerson's dolphins. While the glimpse is extremely brief in real time, you get to slide past the animals only feet away, separated only by a transparent barrier. The ride concludes efficiently at the new exit run-out, which replaced the less efficient pool from the previous version of the slide. Just around the corner is the Commerson's dolphin habitat, which we've just slid through, containing a 250,000-gallon habitat, allowing guests to witness their agile movements and playful behaviour. Aquatica also offers the Commerson's close-up tour, a guided experience that provides behind-the-scenes access to the dolphin habitat. Next, we'll head west past the Waterstone Grill restaurant before coming to Whanau Way, which features 4 twisting, colour-coded tube slides that share a central tower. You'll pick up your rafts near the splash pool before heading off into the queue, which wraps around the lush base of the tower. At the top, you'll reach the multi-slide launch area. You're launched into one of the tubes. Early sections offer a fast plunge into darkness. There's a mix of enclosed and open air thrills. The highlight is 2 high-speed drops separated by a flat spot at the end. Spectators below enjoying a prime view as riders splash dramatically into the pool. A short stroll brings us to Omaka Rocka next, renowned for its funnel drops. Riders pick up rafts and climb the same tower as Whanau Way. At the launch platform, riders are dispatched from one of 2 channels. The slide begins with a brief enclosed descent that leads directly into the first of 3 signature funnel elements. These wide cone-shaped features send riders swinging up and down the funnel walls before gravity pulls the raft through the next section. Each transition between funnels is linked by winding, enclosed tube segments that alternate directions and elevation. The final funnel is slightly longer than the first 2, offering a bit more hang time before the slide winds down, then sending riders down the enclosed tube and exiting into a shallow run-out pool. In between Omaka Rocka and the wave pools nearby is the impressive Kare Curl family raft slide. This towering slide uses a conveyor to shuttle the rafts to the top, where there's impressive views across Aquatica, SeaWorld's Mako coaster, and the rising skyline of Epic Universe. The slide begins with a push-off into a long enclosed twisting tunnel, before the rafts burst into daylight down a steep drop, launching up a giant wall and providing a weightlessness drift at the peak. Riders then plunge in the opposite direction into a brief tunnel before splashing into a wide runoff pool. A quick walk onto the beach reveals Cutback Cove and Big Surf Shores, Aquatica's dual wave pools. The names are a bit confusing, as Big Surf Shores is the more relaxing of the 2, offering gentler rolling waves, while Cutback Cove provides more thrills. Both pools feature beautiful white sandy beaches for sunbathing and private cabanas available to rent. Heading north away from the sands, we'll eventually come to Aihu's Breakaway Falls, which towers over the park, impossible to miss. Not only Aquatica's most visible structure, but also the park's most intense attraction. As the stairs wind upward, the scale becomes clear, with guests down on the beaches appearing like ants. Once you reach the top, it's decision time as 4 different slides await. The orange, green and blue slides feature intimidating drops down transparent capsules, whereas the purple one contains a seated launch slide. In this tour, we'll be heading down one of the capsules, where you step in, arms crossed, heart racing, and wait for the countdown to end. When the floor drops away beneath you without warning, all begin with a steep plunge that transitions into curves throughout a series of tight spirals, overlapping and weaving through one another, riders eventually emerging in the splashdown lane. Just a few steps eastward, we'll come to Turi's Kid Cove, which replaced the former Kata's Kookaburra Cove. It features a shallow beach entry pool framed by brightly coloured water features and slides. Sculpted palms, water jets, and flower sprays are scattered throughout. There's multi-lane slides on one side leading into shallow water. On the other, There's a set of taller, twisting, colourful tube slides which curve out of a lush hill, feeding into the same pool, one with a mini wall-style drop, mirroring the larger Kare curl. Next to Turi's Kid Cove is Mango Market, one of the more popular dining locations in Aquatica, catering to comfort food cravings, notably the popular buffalo chicken fries smothered in cheese, ranch and hot buffalo sauce. I'll provide some additional dining recommendations in the video description. Now we'll head over to the park centre for Rowers Rapids, accessible from either the beachfront or the east. Unlike a lazy river, Rowers Rapids swiftly carries guests along its winding course, past lush foliage and rocky outcrops. Water jets overhead create playful sprays, adding extra excitement. One standout feature is the rocky island formation, which splits the flow underneath a tunnel of spraying water. To the right of Rowers Rapids, a short walk from Mango Market, is Taumata Racer, a colourful 8-lane head-first mat slide that delivers a competitive race against fellow guests. Before climbing the tower, you'll pick up your mat near the exit to the ride. At the top, you'll line up at brightly coloured lanes, treated to another panorama of SeaWorld coasters. Once the race begins, riders are thrown down enclosed tubes with a twisting stretch of darkness as you spiral down, before emerging into the open, where riders are greeted by daylight and a vibrant descent down the slide's signature wavy lanes, neck and neck toward the splashdown, where times are displayed on the Taumata Racer scoreboard, declaring the race winner. Next, we'll take the short walk below Taumata Racer for Walkabout Waters, a multi-level water play area, standing 60 feet tall, catching the eye with its kaleidoscope of colours, woven throughout a maze of staircases, slides, bridges, and various water features. The giant tipping bucket, brimming and ready to drench guests below, emerges as the centrepiece, while the wide, shallow splash pool allows safe wading and exploration. Next, we'll head over to the far east of the map for the Ray Rush family raft ride. Guests board large blue rafts at the top of the tower. The first section launches riders with high-powered water jets, propelling the raft uphill into a fully enclosed, vibrant tube. Inside, riders experience a sudden plunge into a glowing, translucent sphere, rocking back and forth. From there, the slide transitions into another tube before bursting out into the open-air half-pipe, one of Ray Rush's signature features, sending the raft swaying back and forth before plunging into darkness a third time, twisting and turning through rings of light, later emerging into daylight through an overhead water curtain before the final splashdown into the pool. Next to Ray Rush, you've also got the Walhalla Wave family raft slide, which stands out with its serpentine layout, using the same loading platform as Ray Rush. Once secured, you're launched into the twisting slide with wide, high-banked curves which send the raft careening from side to side. After the open-air section, you'll fall into a dark tunnel segment. Towards the end, you'll exit into a curtain of water, delivering a refreshing finale near the exit pool. Next, we'll head down to the southwest corner of the park for Riptide Race, one of the newest slides in the park, featuring a dueling design that pits you against another racer. After picking up your raft, you'll head up the tower through a tangle of colourful slides. At the top of the launch platform, riders are lined up in green chutes side by side. As riders plunge into the slide, the experience alternates between enclosed tubes and open-air sections. Enclosed segments create a sensory-rich journey through tight curves, with translucent panels letting light stream into the tube. Open-air segments are a key highlight, where the slide walls drop to waist height, giving riders a view of the adjacent slide. It culminates in a lively splash pool where the riders emerge side by side, revealing the winner. Next, we'll head back to the front of the park to explore Loggerhead Lane, which is the park's lazy river. Gentle currents propel guests through calm waters under palm trees, past one of the bowls from Tassie's underwater twist, which we'll be covering shortly. Through overhead spray jets that soak guests, the river continues beneath shaded walkways and bridges, blending into the park's vibrant vegetation, before giving guests the option to turn right for the shorter route with the tropical fish aquarium, or straight ahead for the longer route with the Commerson's Dolphin exhibit. Heading straight on, the river narrows and curves passing rocky waterfalls for a more enclosed environment. A bridge looms overhead. On the other side, you'll approach the dramatic waterfall cascading from a giant log, which marks the entrance to the Commerson's Dolphin viewing area. Leaving the grotto, the river re-emerges into the sunshine. Another bridge crosses overhead, guiding guests back to the start of the circuit. Finally, nestled within the island, encircled by Loggerhead Lane, you'll find the last attraction of this tour, the multimedia-enhanced Tassie's underwater twist, a modification of the old Tassie's Twisters slide. The experience begins by grabbing your turquoise tube before climbing up the tower. At the top, you'll be assigned one of two slide openings. The slide starts with a typical tube plunge into a dark, fully enclosed section. Soon, you'll slide into the signature feature, a 360-degree projection dome where light and video effects simulate marine life. These bowls were repurposed from the old Tassie's Twisters slide, with the bowls now fully enclosed. Now with schools of fish, sea turtles, sharks and rays swirling around before gravity pulls you into the exit tunnel backwards, which sends you splashing into a small runoff pool surrounded by lush greenery. Well, that's it for this updated tour of Aquatica Orlando. Thanks for watching. If you're considering a visit, be sure to check out the video description where I'll include the pros and cons, as well as some handy tips to make the most of your day. See you next time.